is John Wick.
Before the video starts, let me just give y'all a quick rundown of what my content consists of because it might come off as a little confusing. I give my intake on certain thoughts that come across my mind and elaborate. Sometimes the thoughts are made for the video and sometimes they just come up naturally. While I'm explaining what's going on, I like to add my gaming clips as a background visual. That's all it really is. I'm playing a lot of Tekken as of right now, so you'll be seeing a lot of Tekken content. Then of course I got movie clips that I believe add spark to my content. So yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm just speaking my mind. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me shut up. My thoughts have been heavy on reading these past few days. I've been thinking about how I never used to pick up a book, and now I'm doing it all the time. It's like my mind has shifted to a different space in order to find something new. It feels like I had to isolate myself in order to obtain this ability of curiosity that's led me to reading and learning about other things. And I find it crazy because life, it actually does come at you unexpectedly. In good or bad ways, of course, but I never thought it'll hit me like this.
Leave me alone! Akira!
Reading to me, it was like more of a chore. It felt like an assignment that I had to complete. Something that I didn't feel the need to do at all. As a young kid, bro, I never thought of reading. Word comprehension even bothered me. The teachers, I felt like were asking for too much. The only thing I did enjoy was playing popcorn and maybe picking on a friend who couldn't read a page from a Harry Potter book. Besides that, you never saw me reading a page from any book. Obviously, times have changed now that I'm older. My view on life, how I view myself, my priorities, mostly everything. My views on reading being one of them, of course. I started believing that reading was like key for me to improve my understandings of myself and everything around me. So I thought it was a good idea to start picking up those books. It has been somewhat of a great experience so far. I've learned quite a few things, but to be honest, I still sometimes ask myself, how has reading affected my life, especially these past few days? Well, one is that it has been pushing me to try to remember more things. Before, bro, I would just read just to say that I read a book. It wasn't worth anything. Yeah, like I might have learned a thing or two from it, but 90% of what I've read was completely forgotten. Now, I'm trying to find a process on how to store information in my head of what I just read. Like highlighting, underlining, summarizing, even keeping tabs on certain pages. All those things, it has been somewhat of a great experience, but it has to be depending on the type of person you are. Because for me, I think summarizing helps me the most. I recently stopped highlighting mainly because my issue was that I would just highlight the whole page, assuming that every little detail is necessary for me to remember, which it can be, but honestly, it slowed down the process so much and it wasn't really helping me recall anything of what I just read. I also try staying off my phone more often for more reading time. That's another way that I feel like reading has affected these past few days. Lately, my phone time has been off the charts. And honestly, I don't even do anything on it. I literally scroll through YouTube and other social media apps all day just looking at different kinds of content. I waste mad time. But honestly, sometimes, and I say sometimes, it could be worth it. But for the most part, it isn't though. I will go through this complete cycle of YouTube, then Instagram, then TikTok, then Reddit, then my messages, over and over again until I just realized I spent a whole hour doing nothing. These past few days, however, I've just been trying to substitute that with reading, and so far, it has been going great. Me personally, like I said before, I have been trying to learn more about myself and the world, so I've been consciously prioritizing reading these books more than anything else, besides playing video games, of course. Even if the topic isn't as interesting, my curiosity is leading me to assume that whatever I'm reading will benefit me just for the sake of knowing. So yeah, hopefully I can keep this up. It's preventing me from having a huge social life now. Besides joining Xbox Live party chats, going out to eat with friends every Thursday, I don't really do much else besides stay home all day. Because of this, I decided to find more time to read more often. I don't gotta worry about stepping out on the weekends. I just stay home, I do whatever I want or whatever I have to do, or not. It does kind of sound like a little depressing, but I enjoy being alone a lot more as I'm getting older. Not to say that I don't like talking to people, because I generally do. There's times when I'm just talking to someone and I'm just thinking that I could be doing something else more productive that can push me towards my goals instead. And I'm not trying to come at anyone, but a lot of times, bro, the conversations I have with people be so pointless. If I'm not laughing, if I'm not experiencing something amazing or learning something out of these exchanges, I feel like it's not worth my time, and that's how I've been living my life recently. Because of that, I have decided to implement more reading time, because for me, when I read, I picture myself speaking with the author, like in a classroom or something, trying to dissect or understand whatever he or she is trying to communicate with me. And honestly, that to me is more of an important conversation to have. Pushing myself to find better habits. I've been pushing myself to find ways to improve my everyday life. And reading has often encouraged this mindset towards other things. For example, I'm getting more sleep now. I'm turning in assignments on time. I'm also writing more often compared to who I used to be. And to be honest, I'm not excelling in these things, but I do see them as improvement. And I don't know if it's because I decided to start reading this and that and the third, but being consistent with it has put me in a position where I never thought I would be intellectually. Me from 5 years ago would have never thought I'll be the person that I am today. So I think and I see it as improvement. I also want to be able to talk about other things when I'm in conversation. I talk a lot when I'm around people, but I'm always talking about the same thing. If it's not gaming, then it's basketball. If it's not basketball, then it's about a movie that I've seen. And if it ain't about the movie, then I'm just trying to joke around. It's the same conversation all the time, but I'm honestly trying to expand on that. I want to be able to come up with different topics of conversation, or maybe add on to what someone is saying and keep the conversation going, because I can possibly learn something out of it. It also prevents from awkward ass moments too. Those times where you just chilling with somebody, y'all just don't know what to say to each other. But yeah, I believe reading helps with that because I'm able to expand on my thoughts and present other topics that can be interesting to talk about. I don't want to be that guy that assumes that he knows everything, but expanding my knowledge on given topics helps to find that equilibrium between me and whoever I'm talking to, because now I have an idea and now I can add on to what they're saying. So I think it's an improvement. All in all, reading has been improving my mental state. I'm not as stressed out as I used to be. I'm not as anxious anymore. Not to say that these emotions don't pop up every now and then, but I look at it differently now. I'm able to be more aware of my emotions and have different perspectives on them. I learned to laugh it off and create more of like a humorous effect to whatever situation is causing me to feel like this. Reading has led me to look at life this way, and I learned that although my life may seem bad from my perspective, it can be a lot worse than what it already is. Most of the time I usually feel like this because I'm not doing anything productive. Whenever I'm doing something that I feel is important, especially something that I feel is towards my goals, it satisfies me and I'm able to keep myself at ease.
You working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Oh, well. I'll leave you be then. Good night, John.
Good night, Jimmy.
Not for nothing, but trying to apply myself in not only in reading, but in whatever I got going has been making somewhat of a difference in my life. Nothing much has changed, but I feel like I'm starting to get a clear view of who I am and who I want to become. It's still going to be a long way before I come across a few answers, of course. And to be honest, there's a possibility I may never find the answers that I'm looking for. It kind of seems scary to think about, the thought of never finding or reaching whatever I've been looking for. But one thing reading has taught me, especially in these last few days, was to keep going, no matter the circumstances. Because at the end of the day, it's the journey that makes for a good story to tell. Like, subscribe to your boy, Mike Valentine, aka Trigger Mike, the one and only. Y'all heard it here first, alright? Y'all be easy. Be safe.